Let's talk about Ginny and Georgia season 2 real quick because I need to talk about it with somebody. Tell me why Georgia put a pillow over Tom's face with her fingerprints all over it. She got her tears dripping down on the pillow. I thought you was a better criminal than that, Georgia. So you just gonna get caught up like this, huh? This how you got caught? Make it make sense. Why would she not think, oh, let me not put my bare hands on this pillow? Let me not cry over it too. She got her whole DNA over this whole man. That's how you know how crazy she is, because in her twisted little mind, she thought she was doing a good deed. All this because Cynthia did something nice for her by blocking Gil from being able to get an apartment close by. So Georgia's like, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for her too. So she go and off this woman's husband. All because Cynthia said that she doesn't want her husband to suffer anymore. He's not himself. He doesn't recognize them. And she was like, he was supposed to be dead in December, but it's February. So Georgia took it upon herself to go get a pillow and put it over this man's face. And to top it off, her son Austin saw the whole thing go down. And he kept this to himself. He didn't tell anybody. So he was confused when the police came up in there and arrested his mama, because he even told Ginny, but I didn't tell anybody. So he is so confused. Poor Austin. Somebody go check on Austin because he's not doing too good. For season 3, I wish Austin happiness. I just hope he don't end up with Gil, his insane psycho daddy. But look how they rolled up in there on Georgia. She should have trusted her gut and left town like she was about to. This private investigator had it out for Georgia. He wanted her bad. He didn't let up on her. In front of everybody though. Everybody at her wedding. How embarrassing. And I know Paul's parents was eating this up too, because you know they don't like Georgia. And where Nick at? I know he had something to do with this too. Because wasn't he supposed to be in the wedding? Let me find out. I'm going to have a bone to pick with Nick. That PI man don't want you. He don't even like you. He was just there in town to do a job, to get Georgia. And he got her with your help too, huh? Dang. I feel bad for Georgia. I hate this for her. And all over an unnecessary death. She didn't have to do that to Tom. And look at all of the dramatics. Austin running after the cop car. He said, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell nobody. Everybody outside confused. They don't know what's going on. And look at her mugshot. Look at her. Not on her wedding day. And did y'all catch what the show did? I find it so funny and I'm eating it up. So in the opening scene, we see Georgia putting a pillow over Ginny's face, suffocating her. And then look how she ended up getting caught by putting a pillow over this man's face. Did y'all catch that? I'm kind of gagging. And we have to talk about this scene where Georgia finds out that Ginny is burning herself. I said to myself, self? Are you about to shed a tear? First of all, give this woman who plays Georgia an award. Give her an Emmy, an Oscar, a Golden Globe, or something, because she does such a great job as playing Georgia. Brienne Howie, I believe is her name. Give her an award. I just love the love that Georgia has for her kids. And even though Georgia and Ginny had this huge disconnect this whole season pretty much, with Ginny finding out what her mom did with that purple drink, with the flowers in the garden and poisoning her ex-husband and all that, and Ginny being mad at her about this, while Ginny kept trying to push her away, Georgia just kept on trying to pull her back in closer. But another scene where I was like, hold up, am I about to cry? Is when Ginny told her dad Zion about her burning. She started having this whole panic attack about not being able to trust her mom and that she's not okay. And then she ended up telling him about her burning. But then Zion was actually able to calm her down with these breathing techniques. And she was like, how did you know how to do that? And he said, because your mom used to have those. If they don't put Zion and Georgia together, if they don't put them back together, or at least Georgia and Joe, something, give us something. But I'm just so happy that we got to see more Zion this season, and that we got to see more of Ginny and Zion's relationship and how they interact with each other. I love how he loves her, and I also love how he loves her brother Austin. I like how he got her into therapy right away. But how do y'all feel about him keeping this from Georgia? I understand why he did it. If I was him, I would do it too. I'm also glad that he has Simone. I'm just wondering how long this is going to last though. I know his parents are happy, mainly his mama, and that is not Georgia, because she does not want her son with Georgia. She don't think Georgia good enough for her son. I mean, she might get him caught up in some crimes, so I mean, mama not all the way wrong. And she kept reminding Zion how important it is for Ginny to be around more black people because the girl's out of touch. And even though we got to see a lot more Braysha this season, I kind of wish it was a little bit more. I do feel like she's on here just to be Ginny's one black friend, but at least we're getting to see her more and they're becoming closer friends. I know she's still not in the main friend group, but at least Braysha is interacting with more people like Max. She's in the school play. She's the lead in the school play. And I like the fact that they put in this part where Braysha didn't like her photos for the school play because they put her under a blue light. And they made it known that you're not supposed to put black people under blue lighting. That's not our type of lighting. So Ginny had her dad retake the pictures for her. And I also like that they gave Braysha a little love interest this season too. But let's talk about how Ginny has her mama in a chokehold. She brought up Mary, Georgia's real government name, in front of Paul. Paul said, "Who is Mary?" Georgia almost passed out right there on the kitchen floor. She had to go to the car. She had a whole panic attack up in there. Then there's one part where Ginny told her mom, "I'm scared of you." And Georgia was like, "You scared of me? I'm scared of you. I don't know what you gonna do next." But one of my favorite scenes this whole season was when Georgia told Ginny why she ended her stepdad Kenny's life like that and just why she does what she do. She basically told her that she knows from experience that a touch of a hand just doesn't end at a touch of a hand. She saw the way that he touched her that day and she was like, "Nah, not my daughter." So she went outside, got some flowers and, poisoned them. She told her that her and Austin is who she lives for, that she'll do anything for them. And about how she saw a group of kids that was her age when she was younger at this bathroom at this rest stop. And just by looking at them, she could tell that they were loved and they didn't have a care in the world, unlike her. And she said to herself that Ginny will not grow up like me. She's going to grow up like them. And that's why she's a criminal. She's going to do anything she got to do so that her kids can be good and make it and not have a life like she used to have. So after this, they both make up and Georgia told Ginny to not tell anyone what she did to her ex-husband, but she just don't know that Ginny already spilled the beans to Marcus. Ginny told Marcus what her mom did to her stepdad, but Marcus told her that he wouldn't tell anybody. He did not tell anyone from what we saw, but he did let Georgia know that he knows her secret. I just wonder if this added on to Marcus's depression. He was really struggling, and that's one of the reasons why he broke up with Ginny. And that breakup scene was a lot. It was giving me anxiety. At one point, I was like, "Okay, girl, walk away." She was panicking. I started to panic. She was so wrapped up into what she was going through that she couldn't even see that Marcus was also having a hard time. And let's talk about how Austin pulled out the pow pow on his daddy and actually used it, and how his aim is on point. How old is Austin? Gil put his hands on Georgia, so Austin took out the pow pow and used it. I know that's right. Not my mama. How was Gil able to get out of jail? He had the audacity to get up out of jail and try to blackmail Georgia out of some money from Paul. And he got it all wrong too. Talking about Georgia is the one who stopped him from being able to get an apartment. No, it wasn't. It was Cynthia. It was Cynthia's idea to stop you from getting an apartment. Take that up with Cynthia. Okay, so Max was being annoying for about 78% of this season. And I used to like Max in season 1. Why is she being like this? Okay, I get it. She's mad at Ginny for dating her brother behind her back, but get over it. She wasn't just mad at Ginny, she was also mad at Abby, which was even more unnecessary. And Nora is the definition of fake friend. She hopped right on Max's bandwagon for no reason, being mad at Ginny and Abby just because Max was mad. What? Max eventually got over this whole thing, but once she would have said, "Okay, I'm over it," I would have said, "I'm not," because that was just foolish. And I was so tired of Max on this whole back and forth thing with Sophie. I miss Sophie. Where's Sophie? What's Sophie doing? I was so glad when she finally got over that. But I am feeling her and Silver. But not her finally getting over her. But then Sophie wants that old thing back just because she saw how good she did in that play. Let's talk about this poem Ginny made about her mama and how she got up in front of everybody and read it. Georgia was embarrassed Ginny got up there and said, what if your mama don't know best? She can braid your hair, but still stands Scarlett O'Hara. We talked about how Zion's parents don't really like Georgia, but Paul's parents don't like her either. Georgia overheard them saying that she's not good enough for their son. One thing that stood out to me was when Georgia said that her kids was at their dad's house and Paul's mom said, which dad? And another thing that stood out to me was when they were all at the table, Paul's parents, Zion's parents, and Paul's mom asked Georgia if she went to school, and Zion's mom said she didn't go. Before Georgia could even open up her mouth and say anything, she was low-key being attacked. We're not going to give Ginny's teacher a lot of energy because he's just pathetic. He's a pathetic man. How he had Ginny, the only black student in the class, pick a black author and present the book to the class, create a whole lesson plan, doing his job, talking about, I'm just trying to meet you halfway. What? He's a racist man. And let's get into how Georgia knew the whole time where these glasses came from, and she knew Joe had them the whole time. This whole scene was playing with my emotions. Georgia played too much. And how she's going to bring up the fact that he was sleeping with Cynthia. She's like, Cynthia? Cynthia of all people. Cynthia! He was like, why are you so mad for? You said we're just friends. And she's like, yeah, we're just friends. So why you so mad, girl? And she over here getting teary-eyed. So he asked her, do you have feelings for me? Because you keep flirting with me. And she gonna say, I'm getting married. She getting on my nerves. So he said, well, am I crazy? Was I making this all up in my head? Did you at least think about it? And she said, well, like you said, there's nothing I don't think of. So what if she came back to the town for Joe? And then she just ran into Paul. Because Joe said, why did you come back here? Yeah, why did she come back there? Are y'all team Joe, Paul, or Zion? I'm team Zion and Joe. It don't matter to me. Even though Paul does seem like a good man, he is a good man. But nah, I don't want them vibes. If I left anything out that stood out to y'all, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know your thoughts on season 2 and if you have any predictions on season 3. But if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.